I'm back. Today is September 13th, 2023. Another update. So, last Saturday was a race where I wanted to qualify for Boston, and I decided it was a game day decision to not run it. But I kind of knew even before, just in case I felt like a miracle happened overnight. I still went to bed thinking that maybe it might happen, but I knew the probability was fairly low because, Thursday, Friday I took complete rest days. Friday I did 1 mile run just to test the hip, and I was happy I was able to complete the whole mile because I would not have been able to do that like probably a week before. But interestingly, it was the right hip that wasn't feeling great, not the left one that has been bothering me for the last few weeks. So I don't know if maybe my left hip is still, it might have felt pain if my right one didn't. Like sometimes if you have pain in two places, the louder one is the one that you really feel and you don't feel the other one, and then the when the louder pain gets resolved, you realize, oh, the softer pain was there all along. So I don't know if that's the case, but I do feel that my left hip has gotten significantly stronger. Previously, when I was on the trampoline, I wouldn't have been able to hop on the left foot more than twice consecutively, and the second hop would usually produce pain. And this time I can go 4 or 5 times, and while it doesn't feel perfect and super strong, I can do it, and it's not like super painful like it was before. So that's encouraging. And the right one doesn't hurt when I hop on one foot. So that's I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what happened with my right hip, but um, we'll see. I actually have an MRI scheduled for next week just to make sure that everything looks okay, that I don't have like a stress reaction or something. But I think I don't. I don't know. Like it's felt fine before and after last Friday, Saturday. So I have no idea what to make of that, but hopefully we'll get some answers next week. Anyway, I haven't lost hope on the Chicago Marathon. I am actually quite fit. I'm hitting the weight super hard, and I'm cross training and hitting all the muscles. And so I feel like as long as I show up healthy, I should be fine. And I have a sister who does mostly cross training, and she's absurdly good and so fast, and she can crank out like a 3 hour marathon with barely any miles under her legs. It's insane, and it's worked for her for a long time. So I used to think that it didn't work for me because I have cross trained a lot and did not run that fast. But I think, she's more focused, like she spends more time doing weights, and maybe that was the missing link for me, that I wasn't spending enough time in the weight room. And now I'm spending much more time with weights. So we'll see. We'll see. I am actually hoping that this will be a success and I'll preserve elements of what I have been doing in this training cycle. So in that way, maybe this injury was a blessing. It's forced me to do different things, and it's gonna up my game. So yeah, now I'm looking at the marathon as more like a decathlon versus one event. I mean, obviously, nutrition, sleep, and all that has been important, but I feel like my focus has been way too heavily skewed on a couple of things. The running part and the nutrition part, but the sleep and all the other things, weights, it's just been totally neglected. And so I'm really trying to improve on those things. Although sleep is really tough for me. I don't know how to get myself to just fall asleep. It's just a challenge for me. I'm still listening to the binaural beats, and there are a couple focused on like getting you to sleep. And sometimes they're helpful, but I don't know if it's a coincidence that I fall asleep with them on just because I'm so tired and I can't help but fall asleep. I'm not sure. But in any case, yeah, I have hope, and I think about Joan Benoit Samuelson, who won. She won the first women's Olympic trials in 1984. It's a shame that it happened that late. It should have happened so much sooner, like, 100 years earlier. But it was amazing. She had knee surgery, and then 11 days later, I think it was 11, maybe even less, where she won the freaking Olympic trials. And then obviously she won gold. I mean, that later, she won the gold medal. She wound up winning, and that's just so bonkers. She had surgery. That is. So I looked to her as an inspiration. She made some good decisions, and I think that's just the key. Same with like Shalane Flanagan, who ran 6 marathons in 7 weeks a couple years ago. She did all the marathon majors that were all in the fall because of COVID. The spring marathons were postponed to the fall. And she ran them so fast, all of them. So, intellectually you think, oh my gosh, 6 marathons in 7 weeks, like how is that sustainable? Like her goal was to go under 3 hours for each race, but she killed it. I mean, I think all but one was in the 2:30s, and the only one that wasn't was Chicago. She did a 2:45 on an absurdly hot day. It was at least in the mid 80s. Maybe, I think at the high, it might have been in the high 80s. And she paused a split by 1 second. And the next day, I mean, she was just saving her legs for Boston the next day. She ran Boston the very next day after freaking flying there with a baby, mind you. And she ran like a 2:39, I think. And Boston's a hard freaking course. And she did it in 2:39, only a day after running Chicago in 2:45 on a really hot day. So she's made some really good decisions. And so I think that's really, really key, just making good decisions. And, there were a lot of unknowns for her, but I think she was good at like following her gut and also being kind of unattached. There weren't the same usual pressures of being a professional runner. So yeah, I think it just really worked for her, and by no coincidence, she made some really, really good decisions. And and by the way, her form, just beautiful. So it's a poetry in motion. I love her form. Anyway, so anything is possible, and I'd like to think that a good race in Chicago is possible in a few weeks if I just make the right decisions. I just have to play my cards right, and we'll see if I can pull off this challenge. I'm kind of excited. I'm very scared and nervous, but I'm up for it. So let's see what happens. Anyway, hope you're well. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. Take care.